Crypto Berserk and Crypto Joe. I know you guys wanted to remain anonymous, and I will respect that, of course. So, if you want to go
Yeah.
ahead and introduce yourself, give us some background, and yeah, we can get started.
Cool. Yeah. I'll start with me, Crypto Joe. I'm a computer engineer. I've been around for longer than I like to admit. So most of my professional life, I've been designing, building, and managing technology. So all of this crypto revolution is really like a really cool playground to build new stuff. Ozark is not the first project I'm involved. It is the first one we are as founders. Um, and I think that's pretty much it. So I'm part of the development team, the management team, and hopefully, as we'll explain a bit later, one day I'll just be another happy token holder of Ozarks and have other people managing and running the company.
Yeah. And myself, I'm Crypto Berserk. Also, I'm a computer engineer, but all my life I've been managing marketing teams from big corporate worlds in utilities, telcos, and mostly in Europe and in South America, and end up joining and looking at crypto the last 3 to 4 years. Really enjoyed what's been being made, and made me think about what I could do with this technology. And like a couple of years ago, me and Crypto Joe end up starting creating some stuff in the crypto world, and our last and most favorable thing that we did was Ozark Network, that we really believe that could change DAO system in the crypto world. And we're here for your questions and all your doubts that we want to get answered.
Awesome. That's great to hear that you guys have a long-running experience with, especially the development side, because I know that's really the backbone of every project, along with the strong community. But if the development work is not done properly, then a project can really fall on its face. So it's important to be strong in that sense. But yeah, going into the Ozark Network, I mean, give us just an overview of what the project is and what goal it's trying to solve.
Yeah, so we've all seen how fast money and investors. We've all seen how investors kind of polluted the whole dream of crypto, right? So we've kind of gotten tired of seeing great looking projects and great promises being ruined by investors coming in and kind of changing how founders were tackling really cool problems. And I'm talking about the whole initial token sales and pre-sales and token being dumped before the project even has the chance to start. So this whole funding thing was getting out of hand, and we thought that decentralization can really solve this problem as well, right? So we thought, how cool would we be if we had this really powerful funds to fund crypto projects, but whose investors were not one or two or three people that could be tempted to do to cash in fast and lose sight of the investment, but a bigger community that could kind of balance all kinds of values and interests. So we kind of created Ozark to create. We wanted to be the largest investment fund in the crypto space, but where the investors are actually the token holders from beginning to the end. And that's the reason we want to remain anonymous. one day we don't want to be faces behind the project. We actually think personalities kind of ruin the value of the project, so we want to remove our egos from the project. And one day we want this to be fully managed by the community and have the community choosing the best projects to invest, and deciding how, and actually benefiting directly from the investment. So all the profits from the investments will go directly to the crypto holders who are the actual investors. So that's kind of the whole idea behind it. And actually, by the way, exploring this whole DAO concepts in a subject as sensitive as direct investments is super cool and super challenging. So that's obviously another reason we are doing this.
Yeah, I'll have to add there that we want to be a community that it's transparent and where everybody knows what is happening and everybody has a saying of what's going to happen. So I think most of the projects, you never know what's happening and you always feel that something's missing, and we don't want to be that way. So we want to be full transparent with everyone and that everyone can participate and everyone can benefit from being a part of this huge community.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, going through your white paper, I had one question about this. So, in crypto, especially, growing a project, you need a lot of marketing. And
Yeah.
one question I just had was, what is your marketing plan and what revenue sources does the project give to keep fueling that marketing budget?
So
Okay, cool. That's
you
yeah.
can go, Joe.
No. Go ahead. That's actually your area. So go ahead.
No, but that's okay. We have a simple way of thinking about doing marketing because in some of the previous works that we've done in crypto and not in crypto, we feel that we need to have a community that involves with us and really believes in the project, not only because they want to make money, because everyone wants to do that, but also that they feel a part of something bigger. Okay. And in order to do that, we need to have network effects. We know that's key of making our projects grow. And we launched a member get member program, like a referral, that we feel that it's missing from some of the projects. We want people that get in the Ozark network, start making money or start making some profits out of day one. So every time you invest in Ozark tokens, you get a referral link that you can pass to other friends of yours or anyone that is interested. And every time they invest some in Ozark tokens again, you get 25% out of it. Okay, so in the first phase of the program of the program, you get money just of being a part of the members, and also by putting the word and being like an ambassador of the Ozark network. Of course, this kind of AMAs is really important to us because we can put the word that we are here, we are live. It's not some sketchy project, and being a part of the community, answering everything and trying to be, like I said, transparent and being an active member of the community. And of course, with the development of the project, we will have funds to fund our marketing strategy of going to and speaking in good channels and being a part of the network.
Okay, it's good to hear. I think that referral program is definitely interesting. I haven't seen any projects give that much of an incentive to bring other people in. So I guess the word.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
sorry, I was going to say that was actually something you would really want to try out. Most of the time when you invest in a project, you have And when you invest on typically when you invest on a project that brings you in passive income and so on, you typically have to wait a lot before you can cash in on your earnings, right?
Right.
And this member get member actually works both ways, because from day one you can start making money. And by making money, you're contributing directly to the project, right? There's a reason why we are doing this in pre-sale and don't have the token live yet, because what we want to do is kind of start growing these funds. And when we get volume enough and start bringing in passive income, then we can shut down the member get member and then pass the passive income to the returns on investments that we intend to make. So it's an approach we're trying to achieve, one we believe in. Time will tell if it works or not. But it's quite a big incentive, right? So it should be appealing.
Yeah, that's definitely 25% for a referral is pretty huge. One more question I had was, so you mentioned you're obviously an investment fund, kind of like a mutual fund of cryptocurrencies, but also run by a DAO. So are the different projects that you invest in, is that chosen by the community as a DAO, or do you have like an advisor on the team that chooses that initially, or I guess how does it work when
Yeah,
you?
that's cool. That's a cool project. So um, uh, from all the discussions we've been having, it's pretty difficult to have this all automated, right? So in the end of the day, you're going to have a team in the back end doing some kind of stuff. We
Yep.
do want the community to choose the projects, but we want someone then to do some kind of due diligence to make sure that the project is valid or not, right? But we want the community to actually, the system is going to, in what we are planning to do is the community is going to suggest a lot of projects. We're going to have a team validating the projects and kind of rating them, and then we're going to go back and say, okay, so this is the rating of all the projects that were suggested. Vote on which one you guys want to invest, and the community will choose. So the community will always be the one who decides in the end. But we're going to have some kind of assistance to make sure that everybody has the right information to make a proper choice. Oh, by the way, when I mean team, the team is also going to be selected by the community. That's something we think is innovative as well, and we want to bring to the project, which is the day we deliver the project, we're going to do it to someone that the community has selected. So we're going to invite every community member to apply for specific positions in the project, for development, for marketing, for and so on, for investment. And the community is going to choose who they find fits best the role. So the community actually has power decision on who's running the show and what kind of investments are made and where.
That's interesting. I was actually just thinking about the model, like as you're starting the question, I'm like, what if you made a board of advisors with different roles within the project, and then you go on to explain exactly that. So that's interesting to hear. But how about any like cool things coming up, like in the near term?
Sure, yeah. So we are, yeah. So one of we don't want to make this a so this we really want to run from one of these projects that show up one day, grow a lot, and then disappear the next day. So we're taking our time. That's why you don't see us shilling everywhere and just like calls from Modata for our project everywhere. And so what we are doing is we're trying to solve a very difficult problem. We really want to implement multi-sig on several key decisions of the DAO, right? And one of the ones that we want to approve special transactions are the actual community. So imagine you have a multi-sig wallet, but one of the signatures is made by decision of the DAO itself, right? So that's one of the things that we want to implement to make sure that, as you saw in other projects, that the team don't go against what the community chose to do. And although this is a really cool concept, it's really hard to achieve. Yeah, but that's probably one of the things that we want to introduce and put in place as soon as possible. Another thing that we are working on is how do we make votings of the DAO anonymous until a certain period in time. So imagine if this grows a lot and you have like, I don't know, 100,000 token holders or 1 million token holders, and everybody's talking about let's invest in some crypto somewhere or some project somewhere. Uh, if you start seeing if the DAO votings are live and the results are live during the voting, that could really influence how the investment goes, because you could really pump a project before we make the investment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are working on ways to keep this anonymous until the end, and just after we implement the decision of the DAO, then we publish the all the votings to make sure it's clear, it's open, and it's accessible for everybody to audit, right? So those are the things we are working right now, and we really want to make the community we brought in. We really brought it in to give us more ideas and to kind of give us the insights on how they see that this could work. And yeah, I think that's it. So multi-sig with one of the signatures coming from the DAO, and trying to make temporarily anonymous DAO votings, so that we don't influence how the investment goes before we actually make it.
Okay,
Make sense?
yeah, that definitely makes sense. So let's say your project does reach 100,000 holders. That's going to
Yeah.
be a lot of capital that you guys are managing, and that's going to rule
Yeah.
out a ton of different projects that if you were to invest that sum of money, that would significantly impact the price. Do you have any
Sure.
plans of like what like limitations the DAO can invest in as far as like a market cap goes, or are there
Oh,
any?
that's actually a great question. I'll be honest with you. We didn't really think of it. It's yeah, it makes sense. So if you think about investments, so how investment works today, right? So how your typical VC world works today, you do have this kind of like stages. So you have your pre-seed companies, your seed companies, your Series A, Series B, or Series C, and all of them come with different ticket sizes or investment sizes and with different valuations. So yeah, could probably create some different levels of investments for different levels of companies. But again, this is crypto, so I'm not sure if all of those rules really apply here. But that's a good point. That's something we have to consider.
Yeah,
Yeah, we need to figure out how we're going to do that in terms of structure. Like Crypto Joe said, we want to make a professional team coming in after we raise a certain amount of money. Okay, and we will work and see what works best for all the community. But we know that play to earn games are a good way to enter our first investments, because there's tons of community that enters crypto through there. So it could be our first step of trying to invest in the crypto project. So we will see from there. But first, we need to raise the funds to start doing our investments.
yeah, definitely makes sense. Cole, did you have any questions at this point?
Yeah, definitely. This is a super cool project, guys, and your explanation on the different aspects of it is great. And I know that you touched
Thanks.
up on a couple of things that really make you stand out, but if somebody were to ask you what makes you different than other DAO projects that raise funds for investing in projects as a group, what would your answer be as to what really makes you stand out compared to other projects that try to do something similar?
Sure. Two things. So the first one, you can make actual money from day one. So this member get member program is actually huge. And by the way, it's not one thing we didn't mention when we talk about having a share of the investment you bring in. It's actually in BNB. It's not in our OZK. It's not in Ozark tokens. So it's actually cash you get on your wallet, right? So and that's unique. You don't see anybody doing it. The second thing is token holders are going to be the end decisors. One of the things we see is that although DAOs are not really enforced, it's really hard to enforce DAO's decisions. So in the end of the day, you get stuck with, not stuck, but you really have to depend on the team behind it doing what the DAO community decided. And that's something really hard to solve that we are trying to solve. So I think that would be the two. We really don't want anybody to have to trust us. I think that's one important issue. So we have to build this bulletproof so that the community is the end decider in everything. I think that's number two.
Yeah, that's good. And if I'm hearing you correctly, you aren't at this level of decentralization that you want to be at, but you're working towards that to the point where you would not even be involved in the decision. So you don't have that set up yet, but that would be your goal.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So the DAO is not live yet. If you take a look at our roadmap, so we are doing this into phases, right? And so the idea is to start creating the funds, start applying the funds. Of course, in the beginning is going to be us doing all the hard work. Then we're going to bring in the DAO, and the DAO we want to start with the simplest decisions: where to invest, how much to invest, what to do with the proceedings, and then we're going to expand it to more strategic decisions of the company. For example, how are you liking the team performance? Do you think the marketing is doing a good job? If not, do you want to change the team? So we are doing this step by step. We want to do this without any rush. What we want to create is a solid community that believes in this and hopefully is going to make a lot of money out of this. That's the...
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. I appreciate the explanation. Go ahead, Zach.
One question I had, this is kind of a little bit of a change of topics, but I saw in your white paper that you mentioned there would not be any project that has over 20% of the funds allocated towards that. Like in traditional investing, that is very high. Like for a stock portfolio, I think professionals recommend no more than 5% of the total portfolio allocated to that. Is there like a good reason why you chose that 20% number, or would that 20% be something for like Bitcoin, for example?
Yeah, so there's stable investments and there's risky investments. There's less risky investments, right? So eventually you're gonna have to put your money somewhere. But of course, it also depends on the size of the fund you raise. So if you raise a 100K fund, is one thing. If you raise a million fund thing, is another thing. If you raise 100 million fund thing, it's another thing, right? So that will have to be adjusted. But by the way, not decided by us. That's one of the decisions we would put to the community to decide. So that's one of the things I think the community should be able to decide. How much risk do you want in your portfolio?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And I guess the one thing that I would be concerned with if I were trusting my money, putting it into a fund that a community manages, but the people in the community aren't like professional mutual fund managers, for example. Like, is there something to protect the investors rather than just having their money be managed by a bunch of novices, essentially?
Yeah, but I think that the question here regards how we are going to put up the professional team that goes and makes that decisions, because I think the community will come in for the bigger decisions, okay, strategic decisions, but the team will make the questions, okay? So they will say, look, how much of our fund will be invested in stable coins? They say 10, 20%. They're not going to say like, look, community, here's $100 million, how I'm going to manage that, okay? So we need to have a process that from one hand it takes care of that decisions that are harder and most of the people that invest in crypto can't manage, and on the other hand have someone managing all that fund for us. You understand? It's not a matter of putting everything in the community, but most of the high topic questions. I think we can do it like that.
Okay, that definitely makes more sense. And allowing or having an advisor that the community trusts
Yeah.
to make or to
Yes.
propose those decisions definitely makes more sense. So that is something that we are doing in our project too. Like we are proposing different solutions that the community will then vote on versus the community proposing the solutions initially, at least to get our feet planted. That's what we're doing, because there's a lot of manipulation that could happen if a community votes.
Yeah.
Like if a big whale had half the token supply and then could just vote whatever he wants to,
Yeah.
that would be a
Yeah.
little concerning.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes sense.
So basically, close questions. That's the I think that the road to go.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So then, as far as like your guys as the founding team, like I'd noticed in the white paper it said a small percentage of the initial tokens are allocated towards you, and that was just a little.
No.
No.
No, sorry. We don't have any allocation of the initial tokens. So there's no pre-allocation of tokens to no one. What we do get is we do get a small percentage of tokens to the core wallet that we're going to use to fund all the cost of the project, right? So we get tokens and BNBs to a wallet that we use to pay all the costs of running and building the project. That's going to run until we deliver the project and launch the tokens. And by that time, this wallet's going to so this allocation is going to disappear. Every investment is going to go to the investment funds, and the costs will come out of the investment funds as they do in a typical VC fund. So the fund will pay for all of the workers and all of the costs of the project itself. Until then, we allocate a part of it to the side to make sure we have money for marketing, we have money for devs, we have money for infrastructure, and so on.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry if I briefly read the white paper, so I apologize if I misread something. But
No worries. That's actually one of the things that we make sure everybody knows. So there was no sale before this. This is actually the pre-sale. So there was no pre-investment. We don't want any typical investor in. We want anybody from the community to chip in, but we don't want any big institutional investor. We don't have any pre-allocation of tokens. Actually, all tokens, that's on the tokenomics side. Let me just go there for a second. So as we sell tokens, we are minting new tokens. So all tokens are being minted as you buy them, right? And what we're going to do in the end of the pre-sale is, in the end of the pre-sale, we're going to mint tokens for liquidity to publish it, and we're going to close the supply. So the supply is going to be closed. We won't be able to mint any more tokens. And the idea is to let everybody that wants to be in during these phases of the pre-sale. Then the moment we go we publish the token to the market, then the supply of the token is limited and closed. And we're gonna work with what we have. So your normal market will work as it's supposed to, right?
yeah,
So the more you invest, the more the more opinion you're gonna have.
okay, that makes sense, and that's definitely a fair way to do it. And as far as your project goes, like I would imagine that's probably the best way to go about doing a pre-sale, is letting everybody in that wants to be in, and get that first sale of the token and best price. But I guess the one last question I had for you guys, and if anybody else from the community has questions, you can go ahead and raise your hands now. Would be a great time for that. The last question I had is, what's kind of like your end goal, and is there any other aspects of the project that you can branch off of other than just the huge fund of investing?
So anywhere else we can go? Yeah, sure. So that's actually that's something. Once we started the project, we had more. So we had more in mind, and we actually have some other projects lined up once this is up and running. So one of the things that imagine you have the financial firepower to fund the community's projects, right? So there's no instead of funding new ideas, why not execute them yourself? So you do have the firepower to do that. So one of the things we were considering in the beginning was to go into the NFT space, go into the gaming space, and actually use Ozark tokens as utility tokens on side projects. The reason we took that off the table by now is that because we need to focus on one specific goal, right? If we start branching out to a lot of different places, and nobody understands the project. So the idea is to right now create this huge crypto fund run by the community, and then we'll suggest the community on new ways to branch out and use this same DAO and use this firepower to basically make more money. But again, in the end of the day, it's going to be the community's decision, not ours.
All right, that definitely makes sense. So the long-term goal is just to keep growing and growing until you reach as many people as possible.
Yeah,
and then start investing in as many cool projects as possible. Yeah.
All right, right on.
And then time will tell.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely exciting to see where things are going to go even in the next year or two, because everything happens so fast in crypto. It's pretty crazy, the projects that come up and then the projects that you see fall off the face of the earth. And it's definitely interesting. Cole, did you have any final questions?
Yeah, one more question I had for you guys. Could you touch up more on your voting system, how it works? Like, will it be on your website? Will it be voting on the blockchain or through some other method? Will the number of votes people have be determined by something like the number of the Ozark coins they have? Could you just go over some of those details?
Yeah. So first, the number of votes is going to be determined by the number of stake tokens you have, for sure.
Okay.
I think that's the most fair way of going about it. It's different if you invested, I don't know, 1 BNB or if you invested 100 BNBs, right? So you should have different positions. We will probably implement some kind of cap to make sure that you don't have, again, as Zach told, a big whale determining the future of every investment. But yeah, we do want to have it associated with how many tokens you have staked. So that's the first. The voting system, we want it to be on our website, but so we want it to be on the blockchain, of course. All the interaction is going to be on our website or on our DApp. And the idea, the challenge here is, as I mentioned before, how do we make the voting process written on the blockchain, but keep it anonymous until the end of the voting ends? And that's something we are working on. But definitely everything is going to be on the blockchain because, again, we don't want anybody to have to trust us. We want to be trustless. And for that to happen, everything needs to be clear and square on the blockchain.
Sounds good. I appreciate the answer.
Thank you. Simon, you want to add something?
No. I think it was correctly answered.
Any questions you guys have for us? Like
Yeah. So
go ahead.
no, cool. So I was actually thinking. So how could we bring something to your community? So how could our project bring something to your community and help you guys out?
Are you talking about this community or our project's community? I'm
This
Oh,
this one.
this
sorry, I'm talking about this community, but
Okay.
go ahead and expand it to your project as well.
All right. So this community is meant to kind of highlight up and coming projects and innovative projects like your guys. And
Okay.
we noticed that through starting our own project, marketing in general is just really expensive. And if you don't have a ton of funds allocated to you, especially in crypto, like everybody's trying to squeeze like every penny they can out of you. And it's unless you have a project that's super sexy and has this fancy APY and a really innovative idea, it's really hard to see a phenomenal return on your marketing. And with this group, we're trying to grow this community to the point where we could have some substantial influence on highlighting a really cool project and getting a bunch of new investors with them and a bunch of new community members. So that's the goal with that. How you guys could help that is highlighting us to your community, which I saw you guys did. Tag everybody for the AMA, which I do appreciate that, bringing your guys' community in to listen in. But in a few months too, we could have you back on as we grow the community, get a bunch of more eyes, and assuming you guys grow too, bringing more of your community in. That's ultimately how we can benefit from each other, right? And then as far as our project goes, we will be also hosting ourselves as an AMA. We got 4 people, staff members in this group, 2 of which are not staff members in our chain of state community. So they will be doing AMAs with ourselves, and we will be tagging everybody in the Discord. So I mean, we'll have all these other people finding out about us through this community too. Like we don't want to just use it for a shill though, because that's not fair. But
yeah, it's no shame in it. No shame in it.
No shame.
it is what it is. Yeah.
But yeah, we will be hosting ourselves for AMAs too, but that's in the future.
Cool.
But yeah,
cool. So you can count on us of our future AMAs if you want, and
awesome.
We'll be sure to bring our community to your channels. I think this is a super cool initiative. So count on us.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you guys. And then one last thing is, where can people find more about you? I know like a website, and then also if you guys want to post your Discord link in the Shill Your Project channel, that would be awesome.
We'll do that.
We'll do that in a second. Yeah, so Ozark Network is the website. Everything can be seen from there. And then we have a Discord channel, and right now that's how we are working. We also have our Twitter channel. To be honest, is not as active as it should be. We're going to be working on that as well. But yeah, right now we have the website, the Discord channel, and the Twitter. We will put it all on the Shill Your Projects right here for anybody who wants to take a look.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate your guys' time, and I look forward to see where your project goes. And yeah, it's exciting.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for having us.